In this video, I'll be breaking down how to create this invert mask effect. It's a super clean effect that I really like, so I figured I can show you guys how to create it for your music videos. But real quick, before we get into the video, I want to let you guys know about my mask effects editing pack. With this editing pack, you're able to create these professional, high quality mask effects in just a few seconds. It comes with over 20 different drag and drop assets that you can fully customize. It also comes with a tutorial and it's really easy to use. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'll have a link down in the description. All right, so I'm going to first play these clips without the effects. So as you guys can see, these two clips are pretty long. This one is 2 minutes, this one is 2 seconds and 8 frames, and this one is 2 seconds and 15 frames. So your clips, obviously, they don't have to be that long, but the longer the clips are, the better it's going to look. That way, when we actually apply the effects, it doesn't feel too rushed, if that makes sense. So the first thing we're gonna do is go forward 14 frames because I want the first part of this clip to play like a normal clip. So go forward 14 clips, click Ctrl+Shift+D in order to cut that layer. And then this layer right here is gonna be the one where we apply the effects. But before we do that, let's create a solid layer by clicking Ctrl+Y. Make sure that the color is white. Cut this layer so that's only 1 frame. And I'll go ahead and bring this layer back 2 frames. Then I'll duplicate that layer, click Ctrl+D, bring this layer forward 1 frame. So for this one, instead of making it white, I'll make it black. Go over to the layer, solid settings. Make sure that the color is black. So the reason why I created these 2 layers is because we're going to be using it in order to create that flash effect, sort of like a transition into the invert mask effect that we're about to create. All right, so to get started, open up the proportional grid and then grab your rectangle tool because we're going to be masking out a part of this layer. So in my case, I want to mask out 4 squares of this proportional grid. I'm working in a 1920 by 1080 composition. So exactly half of this proportional grid is 4 squares. And all I have to do is just mask it out. That way we can actually see our subject. So once you mask out those 4 squares of the proportional grid, I'll go ahead and move the position towards the right because I want this one to be on the right, and then we're going to eventually mirror it and have another one on the left. I'm going to go ahead and adjust the mask. All you have to do is click your points, make sure to click one point, hold the shift button, click the other point, and then you can kind of move it a little more towards the left. That way it fills exactly half. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just make sure it fills half of the composition. All right, so once you do that, go ahead and right click that layer, go over to pre-compose. Make sure to select this option right here, and I'll just name this to protect right, because this one is going to be on the right side. So once you do that, duplicate this layer. I'll rename this one to protect left, then right click this layer, go over to transform, click flip horizontal. That way it creates that perfect mirror effect. So now when I play this, we have this nice mirror effect. All right, cool. Now that we created that, let's actually create the invert effect. So above your 2 layers right here, click Ctrl+Alt+Y in order to create an adjustment layer. Make sure it's the same length as these 2 layers right here. So I'll go ahead and just cut this adjustment layer. For the first effect, I'll be adding an invert. I want this to be black and white, so let's add a tint. Of course, keep those colors as it is. And then for the final effect, I'll add a curves. We're going to be using this curves in order to just add a little more depth to the colors. Grab the highlights over here, drag that up, and then I'll drag the shadows down. Now that we created that, let's play this from the start. So we had that really nice invert effect. So now let's actually create that mask effect. Create another adjustment layer. Go forward 10 frames from this black solid layer right here. Hold the shift button, click page down once, and that goes forward to 10 frames. Cut this adjustment layer so that's only 3 frames long. After cutting the adjustment layer, only add the invert effect to this layer, and then open up the proportional grid again. Also grab your rectangle tool. We're only going to be masking out the left side of this proportional grid. Make sure to mask out exactly half. What that does is get rid of the invert effect from this layer because we added an invert effect to this layer. Let's go forward 4 frames. Duplicate this layer, bring it forward 4 frames. This time I'm going to extend this layer by 1 frame. That way it's 4 frames in total. Open up the mask. And then I'll go ahead and delete the mask for this one. This time we're going to create a different mask. Mask out the top part just like that. And then let's go forward 2 frames. Duplicate that layer again. Bring that forward. For this one, instead of having the top part masked out, I'll mask out the right side of this composition. So just do the same thing like we did for the left side, but this time it's going to be for the right side. Let's see what we have for the effect so far. I think that looks really fire. Go forward another 2 frames from this adjustment layer. Duplicate the adjustment layer. Bring that forward. And for this one, let's go ahead and mask out the middle part right here. I think that looks pretty good. Go forward another 2 frames. So it's pretty much just the same thing. Duplicate the adjustment layer a bunch of times and then just change the mask in order to create a different look. Duplicate that layer again. This time, this one is only going to be 2 frames. And for this one, make sure to delete the mask effect. I'm going to mask out the right side of the proportional grid again. I'm going to mask out the right side of the composition again. And then let's go ahead and add one more adjustment layer. So go forward 2 frames, duplicate that layer again. bring that forward. This time, I'm just going to extend it forward 3 frames. That way it covers until the end of the clip. Go ahead and delete the mask effect for this one. And I'll go ahead and just mask out the top part just like that. Now let's actually play this from the start in order to see what we have for the effect so far. So I think that looks really fire. I really like how clean and simple it looks. Now let's continue on with the effect. So for this next clip right here, before we do anything, duplicate these 2 solid layers right here. Bring that above that clip just so that it creates that nice flash transition. So I brought it right above this clip. And for this clip, I'll go ahead and go over to the adjustment layer with the invert effect. Copy and paste all these effects. So just select them, click Ctrl C. Click that new layer, click Ctrl V in order to paste it. And then we're going to add one more effect to this layer. I'll be adding a mirror. All right, so after adding that effect, nothing happens. All you have to do is change the X value to 960 by 540 because I'm working with a 1920 by 1080 composition. And then for the reflection angle, I'll go ahead and rotate that so that it's 90 degrees. That way it mirrors exactly the bottom half of this layer. Now we have this really nice mirror effect going on. Then we're going to do the same thing, just add a few glitch effects just like we did with these adjustment layers right here. All you have to do is just duplicate one of the adjustment layers, bring that above your second clip. This time I'll bring it forward. Let's go forward 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I went forward 14 frames from this black solid layer right here. For this layer, make sure to delete the mask. I'll be masking out the top half of this layer. Exactly half of the composition, and then go forward 2 frames, duplicate that layer, delete the mask effect for this one, or actually you don't even have to delete it. I'll just drag it down so that covers the bottom half of the composition. This time let's go forward like 1, 2, 3, 4, duplicate that layer again, bring that forward. For this one, I'll delete the mask effect or delete the mask. I'm going to mask out the middle part of this layer. So I'll just create a rectangle just like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. I think that looks fine. Now when I play this, we have that nice glitch effect going on with this second clip right here. For the end of this second clip, we're going to do the same thing like we did for this first clip. Just have it playing like a normal clip. So from this layer right here, go forward 12 frames, click Ctrl Shift E in order to cut that layer. Make sure to delete all the effects for this one and then duplicate these 2 layers right here, which is the flash effect. Bring it above that final layer. All right, so after doing that, let's see what we have for our final result. So we have this really clean invert mask effect going on. It looks really fire. I really like the way this looks. All we did was just use a few effects and then mask out a bunch of layers. But that's all I have for this video. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.